just sitting nice and comfortable on the edge of our chair. Sit, and we'll bring the hands onto the knees and we'll close our eyes. Now, always start with a little bit of breathing to begin with, just so we're all on the same page as to how we should be breathing. So you can keep the hands on your knees if you want, or you can bring one hand to the chest and one hand to the stomach and start breathing nice and slowly into the body. And just notice what's going on there, if you can feel that movement in the chest and in the stomach. And start relaxing your body. So every time you exhale, just notice your body soften. Shoulders are soft. Arms are getting heavy. Now take a nice and deep breath all the way into the lower belly. So feel that stomach rise. And breathe out from there. Feeling the stomach fall. We'll do a few more like that. Feeling the stomach and chest rise as we breathe in. And fall as we breathe out. In through the nose. And out through the nose. And a few more like that with the hands on the chest and stomach or on the knees. Doesn't matter. Just stay aware of your breath here. And every time you breathe in and out, I want you to feel the stomach rise and fall. That's how we're activating the lower part of the lungs, which is the larger. And it activates our diaphragm muscle, which in turn lets our vagus nerve, so longest cranial nerve in the body, tell our brain to stop producing stress hormones. So we'll keep that nice and deep breath up, and we'll immediately be a little bit more relaxed. And that relaxes our body, relaxes our muscles as well. From here on the next inhale, we're going to raise the head nice and gently. And as we exhale, we drop the chin to the chest. And then inhale, raise the head again. And exhale, drop the chin to the chest. And if your breath is a little bit slower than mine or a little bit faster, adjust your movement to your breath, not mine. And one more time, inhale. And this time, roll the shoulders to the back, push the chest out. And exhale, roll the shoulders forward, chin to chest, round your back, and then slide the hands all the way down to your knees, stretching out the arms. And we're slowly going to roll up into a straight spine again, and we'll open the eyes. Good. And from here, we're going to bring our right hand onto the left shoulder. Bring that left shoulder forward. You can walk the hand forwards as well, and then raise the shoulder. And further forward and raise. And what we don't want is the torso to come forward. So still nice and line, so that right shoulder stays above the hip. So forward and up. Good. And from here, we turn our head to the left and to the right, nice and slowly. And we stay with that awareness that we've developed of how our breath is going into the chest and stomach. And those deep breaths stay with us. And we go back to center, head straight. And then from here, we're just going to tip the head over to the side. So imagine you're like an owl. That head goes to the side, but we're not actually turning the head anymore. We're still looking to the front. It's just some work for our neck here. You'll obviously still feel your shoulder very much engaged. That right shoulder should be completely relaxed here. And the hand adds a little bit of weight here on the shoulder. Okay, a couple more. And we release, and from here roll that left shoulder to the back, mirroring not my strong suit today. Good. And then from here, bring that top of the left hand onto your right waist, and bring the right hand, palm of the hand, onto your left palm. Good. Now from here, that shoulder goes as far back as it can, and it comes forward as far as it can. We'll take it back and forward. We'll make sure that we don't open up too much, because we don't want to go into a twist here. We stay nicely in line here. Chest stays facing the front. This is just the shoulder going forward and back. And we will feel, even though these are smaller exercises, that's just what we need when we sit at a desk all day. And they really go into those smaller muscle groups as well. And we're quite slow and deliberate in our movements here. So really working deep into our tissue as well. Good. Now from here, one last time, push to the back and then forward and shake off that arm. We'll do exactly the same on the other side, starting by bringing that left hand onto the right shoulder. Shoulder walks forward, hand walks forward, shoulder goes up, shoulder goes further forward and up, and it stays there. And we turn our head to the right and to the left a few times, just getting some movement into the neck. We're sitting at a desk, we tend to be quite stiff, not really moving the head too much, or staying in one position that's not necessarily comfortable, or we're too much concentrating on what we're looking at, what we're working at. Good. Now from here, head back to center. We're going to take that head over towards the right side here. Keep that shoulder nice and far forwards and up. This is where we're working not just the strength in our neck, but also the deltoid, so that big muscle that sits on top of the shoulder. Good. And from here, release and roll that shoulder to the back. Okay, we're going to take that top of the right hand, bring it onto the left waist, palms on top of each other. Good. And then from here, shoulder goes to the back. We really open up the chest here and comes to the front as far as we can manage. Good. And the hands stay on top of each other. And if this isn't entirely comfortable, that's understandable. It just goes into muscle groups that we don't use that much and that get neglected when we sit too much and when we have our hands on the keyboard, working away. Good. A few more. And while we're speaking of hands, let's do something for the finger joints next. So push back and forwards, shake off that arm. And then we're going to raise the arms as high as we can. Relax the shoulders here, and then open and close your fists. So imagine as strong as possible, opening up the fingers and closing them. We'll feel the arms get warm. We'll feel the whole body get warm probably. We'll stay here for a little bit longer. And now I want you to focus on your left dominant side. So if you're left-handed, left will be your dominant side. Right-handed, right will be your dominant side. Focus on the side that you don't do that much with. And really open and close as strongly as you can here. Good. And then from here, shake this off. Good. And we're going to raise the arms again. Raise the shoulders high. And then slide the shoulders down. Just little scapular raises here, going up and down, up and down. So one part, obviously, of doing these exercises is stretching to make sure that we're actually releasing some muscle tension. The other one is increasing that strength in the muscle. And you want to just do a few more. Good. From here, bring the arms to the front and then squeeze the shoulder blades. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see a little bit better. Squeeze and come forward. And then rather than just going back to neutral, we're going to reach as far forward as we can and then squeeze the shoulder blades. And we'll do a few more like that. And I know that might be a little bit painful after a while. Certainly will make us feel a little bit warmer. Good. Deep breaths. Good. Couple more. And we release and relax. And just one last thing for the shoulders, and then we'll move into a twist from here. Arms go to the side. We're going to roll the shoulders to the back. Nice and small movement, really coming just from the shoulders. So the arms are moving along with the shoulders, but they're not moving in a big circle or anything like that. Just shoulder action here. Going forwards up to the back and down, and then we'll go the other way. Going back up to the front and down. Brilliant. And from here, bring the palms towards the back. Shoulders nice and relaxed here. Arms go all the way to the back. Good. And we'll try to keep the hands in line with the shoulders here. We'll take a few deep breaths here. You can close the eyes to make this a little bit easier. Relax. Good. One last deep breath in. On the exhale, come back to center here. Palms come down. I know your arms are hurting. We're going to come into a twist. So just go over towards the opening up towards the left. Look to the back of the room here. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, come back to center. Inhale, and then exhale, go the other way. Deep breath in at the back, and exhale, come back to center. We'll do 2 more like that. Open up towards the left, and come back to center. Open up towards the right, and come back to center. And from here, release. Very good. So we're done with the, I think we've done enough for the shoulders. Good. We're going to stand up and do a full body warm up, which I really love, called yogic swimming. We're going to make our hands into fists with our thumbs inside, and we're going to reach the arms to the front. And then from here, draw a circle. So as if you were swimming, but imagine swimming against a strong current. So fists go to the front, all the way out. Here at the back, squeeze your shoulder blades. And then from here, turn the fists, bring them forward and back to the front. And that's all it is for the moment. Just inhale as you go to the front, exhale as you go to the back. And remember deep diaphragmatic breaths. So inhale, stomach rises, exhale, stomach falls. And then from here, either with the feet apart, if you feel a little bit wobbly today, or if you know your balance is amazing, then bring the feet together. And on the next inhale, come up onto your tiptoes. And as you exhale, come down. Nice and controlled here. Inhale to the front and up. Exhale as you come down and to the back. Good. And as always, you can find your own rhythm here. It's more important that you're doing what is good for your breath and that we're not adjusting our movement to someone else's movement or to someone else's breath. This is really just about your breath. So as we inhale, we move to the front and up onto the tiptoes. As we exhale, we go down. Good. And release. Shake off the arms, shake off the legs. And then grab maybe grab the backrest, just to be sure. And then grab hold of your left foot. We're going to come into a simple quad stretch, just bringing the knees here next to each other. Obviously, this is possible without you holding on as well. Then just raise your right arm up towards the ceiling. And we want to stay here and hold. Good. And just focus on the spot in the distance, especially if you've got trouble balancing. Of course, you can still hold on to the chair. If you think that you're fine and this is super easy and you might just think that, then try and close the eyes here. See how that changes your balance, how much our gaze plays a role here. Good. And then from here, grab hold of your chair again. We're going to keep hold of the foot, but we're going to push the foot away from us and raise the leg. And just come forward with the torso a little bit. You should feel your hamstring and your calf here of your supporting leg a little bit, especially after we did yogic swimming. Now you can go higher with that leg. You can go higher with your torso. And we'll take a few deep breaths here. And you don't have to. You can be lower as well. Good. And we release. Shake off. And we'll do the other side. And all of this is possible with the chair or without the chair. Now we're going to do the other side. Grab hold of your right foot, raise the left arm if you want to, otherwise left hand reaches for a chair. And you want to push that heel as close in towards your buttocks as you can. And that knee shouldn't come forward, it's in line with your supporting leg, maybe even a little bit further back if you want a deeper stretch for your quads. Good, and again, we can try and close the eyes here. See how that works for us today. Or we'll keep the eyes open and focus on the spot in the distance. Great. So if you've had the eyes closed, open them again. We're going to reach that hand onto a chair if we want to, or just come forward. So raise that right foot high and take your torso forwards a little bit. So in Sanskrit, this is Santulan Asana and Nataraj Asana. Santulan is just the balancing pose, and Nataraj means the dancer, the lord of the dance. We can go further, we can go higher. Good, and we release, and we shake off. Very good. Now we're going to take that chair and have the backrest facing us, and we'll bring the feet together. And from here, we'll come into a yogic squat. So I'll just demonstrate. We want to come all the way down, heels firmly on the ground. Most of us won't be able to manage that. So it's fine to come a little bit higher and stay there, but try and keep your heels on the ground. If you don't need the chair for support, then obviously you can bring the hands in front of you. You can hold onto your arms here, to your elbows, whatever's comfortable, but hold wherever you can hold. So again, if you're much higher, that's absolutely fine. You'll obviously feel your legs work here, which is never a bad thing. Good. And then slowly come up. Bring the legs apart, feet outwards, turn your chair. And then from here, hands onto the chair. We're going to sink down into a sort of sumo-like squat. So feet further apart, knees go out to the sides, and then we sink our hips down. You might want to stop there. You might be able to come all the way down, see what's comfortable. If you're all the way at the bottom, hands can come to the heart center. So this is quite a deep one. You might also not be wearing the most comfortable clothes. They have to be a little bit stretchy. So again, if you want to be higher, that's fine. You can be higher. Good. And take deep breaths here. Make sure that you're not tensing up in any part of your body here. Nice and relaxed. Inner thighs working, hips working. And we breathe. And then from here, nice and slowly, raise yourself up, hands onto the chair. And we're going to bring the feet together. So hips done, they get quite weak when we sit at a desk all day. Hamstrings should be stretched as well. And we're going to bring our forearms down for that. Relax the head down. Just take a moment here. And then from here, a tiny little movement. So it's almost invisible. You're going to push your tailbone up to the ceiling and then tap the tailbone under. You're doing a mini round and arch here in your lumbar spine. And that's going to have an effect, a deeper effect on your hamstrings as well. So for those who are not very flexible or very tight in the hamstrings, of course, you can bend the legs here as well. Just make sure you're comfortable. Wherever we're stretching is where we should be stretching. You don't want to overdo anything. You don't want to look like someone else doing that same exercise. That person will have a different flexibility, and their body is also different. Their whole anatomy will be different. We'll take a few more breaths. Good. And then slowly bring the hands onto the chair, feet about hip distance apart. And we're going to raise that right arm nice and high, look up to the ceiling. Good. And then from here, move your hips to the right and to the left. We're going to try and keep the legs straight. Of course, if they're a little bit bent, that's fine. But that movement comes from the hips. We're not going over from side to side here. This is just a hip movement. So you'll feel your lats work here as well. You have a nice twist. Good. Exhale and bring that hand down. And on the next inhale, raise your left arm, look up to the ceiling. Good. And again, it should be fine to have the legs straight. If you need to bend them, micro bend, that's fine. Now open up, push the hips to the side, from side to side here. See that effect that that has on your lumbar spine and on your side body. Couple more. Good. And from here, come back down onto your chair. And we're going to come into a slightly deeper hip opener now. It's one of my favorites. We're going to bring our left ankle on top of the right knee and gently push the knee down. Some of us will be able to push it down all the way, as low as possible. But if you're quite high, that's fine as well. Just stay with what's comfortable. And then from here, bring your right hand onto the left knee, gently pushing down, gently. And then bring that left hand onto the right waist. Take a deep breath in, straighten the spine. And exhale as you twist. So just bring that head over to the left and slowly over to the back. And while you do that, push that left shoulder to the back and feel that twist in every part of your spine. Easier to twist in your cervical spine, of course, harder to twist deep in your lumbar spine. But as long as we're straight here, that's all we need to get that spinal mobility going. And on the next exhale, come back to where you were. Now hands onto your leg, lower leg, forearms onto the lower leg. And if we can, if that's not too much, chest onto the lower leg. Now we can drop the head. Now you have to decide where you're comfortable, where you're stretching too much. Just stay here for a little bit. So we want to stay a little bit longer because that really does go into the connective tissue. And that's one of the things, that's also the reason why we feel tightness. It's not just muscle tightness, it's also our fascia. So we need to stretch those, and that happens with longer holds. So we'll stay for a little bit longer. Remember to breathe. Good. And then from here, slowly make your way back up. And then bring that knee on top of your right leg and bring the foot underneath. Good. And then maybe toes onto the ground, sit nice and straight, shoulders right above the hips, arms to the front, left arm on top of the right, and we push down here at the elbows. So not here somewhere, but nice and far over. And if you can, hold on to your opposite hand, push the elbows down. Good, and we're going to drop the chin a little bit towards the chest, just a tiny little bit, so that the head can rest on the hands. Good, now 3 deep breaths here. If you want, you can close the eyes. In through the nose, and out through the nose. Good, and then we slowly release. And we shake off the arms and we release. And we can shake the legs as well if we want. We can stretch them out, straighten those, and whatever feels right. Before we do the other side, bring your right ankle on top of the left knee. Gently push that knee down. And expect one side to be easier than the other, to be more open than the other. That's fine. Don't compare. Just notice it and stay with what's comfortable on this side. Now, left hand onto the right knee. Right hand onto the left waist. We take a deep breath in and straighten the spine. And we exhale and twist. Good. And again, we are quite mobile here in our cervical spine. So don't worry too much about where you're actually looking. Keep that nice and relaxed here. We want to work on spinal mobility much lower. And deep breaths here. We need all that oxygen. And as we're here with that left hand, we can gently push down on the right knee, of course. I'm going to take a last deep breath in here at the back. On the exhale, we come back to front. We're going to bring our hands onto that leg. We're going to bring our forearms onto the leg if that's comfortable, if that's not too low. And if we feel like we can, if we can go any further, we can come all the way down here, dropping the head as well, just getting rid of any tension that we might be feeling. And our breath is nice and steady. So we've got that time here to really focus on the breath. Slow breaths in, slow breaths out. Okay, and we'll take 2 more deep breaths here, in through the nose. And slowly out. All the way in. And all the way out. And then we slowly push ourselves up, coming back to where we were. And we're going to bring that knee over to the other side. Does it feel quite nice here until the hip stretch? And then we're going to intertwine the legs here. One is fine as well if it all gets a little bit much. Otherwise, bring that right foot around again. And then the arms come to the front. We again want to make sure that we're not rounding the back in any way. Right arm over the left. Push the elbows down. Optional if you can. Grab hold of your hand. Good. And then from here, gently tip the head forward, so that your head can rest on your hands. And we'll take 3 deep breaths here. All the way into the body. and all the way out. And slowly release. Good. We can shake off the legs. We can go into our ankles here a little bit. Shake off the hands. Shake our whole body. In the last few minutes, we're going to work on our breath. So just get comfortable again. Sit on the edge of your chair and keep the shoulders directly over the hips so you're nice and straight. And you can use your full lung apparatus. So we're going to close the eyes. We're going to take a few deep breaths. If you want, you can put one hand on the stomach and one hand on the chest again. Just so we stay aware of that movement. If you don't think you need that, hands can just rest if that's more comfortable. The arms want to relax. Okay, now we'll do an exercise called Anulom Vilom, which is alternate nostril breathing, also known as Nadi Shodhan. It has many names. Well, we do it because we want to cleanse our nostrils to make sure that they're both open, that we can breathe freely, and also because it calms our nervous system. So I mentioned the vagus nerve that we're activating through these deep belly breaths. What it does as well is it's very good when it activates even faster when we breathe out for longer than we breathed in. So that's what we're working with right now, and we're starting with that and not the alternate nostril. So we're going to take a deep breath in for 3, 2, 1, and out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little rest, and just let your breath do what it wants to do. So I know I was guiding that breath now, and it's much better when you do that yourself. So we're going to move on to that now. Just imagine, keep breathing in for 3 and out for 6, or if you find yourself breathing much slower or counting much faster, breathe in for 5, out for 10 if you want, all good. Now raise the right hand and close off the right nostril with your thumb. And we're taking a few deep breaths just through the left nostril now, in for 3, out for 6. You might feel like yawning, that's okay. We're just getting all that oxygen we need. Now we're going to change sides. Use your forefinger of the same hand to close off the left nostril. And now breathe in and out just through the right a couple of times. Good. And then release for a moment. And already we might feel much more relaxed. If we aren't, we're just going to do this a little bit longer. So I'm going to demonstrate. We're going to inhale for 3 and then change sides, close off the other nostril, exhale for 6 through that nostril. Then once you're there, inhale here and exhale through the other nostril. So every time before we exhale, we change sides. And that's all it is. And I won't mirror this time. So still exactly the same for you. Right nostril is where we're starting. So take a deep breath in for 3. And when you're ready, exhale for 6 through the other nostril. In for 3 whenever you're ready. And out through the other nostril, so where we started. Now find your own rhythm and don't worry too much about whether you've managed to breathe out for exactly twice as long. Maybe it was shorter, maybe it was a bit longer. That's all fine. But just in essence, that little alternate nostril breathing with longer exhalations than inhalations. Just one more round like that. And from here, release the hands, keep the eyes closed. We're going to drop our right ear to the right shoulder. Roll the shoulders to the back and down. And from here, gently roll the chin down to the chest. Raise the head. Drop your left ear to the left shoulder. And again, roll the shoulders all the way to the back and down. And slowly roll the chin to the chest. And then round your back here. Walk the hands forward. Drop the head all the way. And then interlock the hands here, palms towards us, fingers or tops of the hands away from us. And we push the hands towards the front. Now push the palms away from you, raise the arms, raise your torso, straighten up, reach over to the right, look up to the ceiling. Reach over to the left, look up to the ceiling. And from here, float the arms down and you're done. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you again soon.